All right, good evening and welcome to another live stream. Once again, it is Friday night, it is 7 p.m., and we are going to get things underway here. Let's see, we're not going to do a news segment this week, but we do have our relatively new segment of This Week in History. We started doing this last month, and let's see. Yes. Oh, okay. No worries. Welcome, Mark. Looks like it's just you and me so far. I imagine some other folks are going to trickle in at some point. But how's your week been? How's October treating you so far? It's we're slowly over here. The heat tends to go away a little slower than it does in the rest of the country, but we're slowly getting there. We're blessed to be away from all the 90-degree and the 100-degree and all that craziness. So real happy about that, of course. Also noticed right when we went live, Kid has a new video they're premiering right now as well. So after we're done here, make sure you hop over to the Kids channel and check out the new video that they have going on. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our. Oh, there's Ozzy. Ozzy, how are you? Go Cowboys! uh, Anna's here. Welcome, Anna. So yeah, we're getting some folks trickling in. Again, guys, remember, as I just mentioned, Kid is premiering a new video right now. So when we're done here, make sure you hop on over to the Kids channel and check out their newest video. Looks like the painting of the ship is complete just by scrolling real quick at the title of that video. But let's go ahead and get into our topics for this week. And first up is This Week in History. So let's see what happened this week in history. So we all know what this house is right here. So October 13th, 1792, the cornerstone for the White House was laid on this day. So White House would be, I don't know what, it doesn't say what year it was completed, but I would say definitely around 1800. So the White House itself is over 200 years old. So, yeah. Let's see what's next. Yes. So, October 13th, 1903. The Boston Americans, later known as the Boston Red Sox, defeated the Pittsburgh Pirates to win the first modern World Series. And that is the actual team right here. That wasn't some random image that I found. Guys, you'll have to bear with me too. I've been having a cough for a few weeks. I can't seem to shake it. So I apologize in advance for that. Next up, we have October 14th, 1644. English Quaker leader and advocate of religious freedom, William Penn, who oversaw the founding of the American Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, was born. So I know Mark lives up there in Pennsylvania. So on the 14th, the man that your state's named for was born on April 14th, 1644. Another famous figure here. Long live the oatmeal. Yeah, we're going to have the oatmeal locker. No potato locker this week. We're going to have the oatmeal locker, Ozzy. We should all know who this guy is. On October 14th, 1890, Dwight D. Eisenhower, Supreme Commander of the Allied Forces in Western Europe during World War II and the 34th President of the United States, was born. Let's see. Next up, on October 14th, 1964, Baptist minister and social activist Martin Luther King Jr. was named the winner of the Nobel Peace Prize. Let's see. Up next, on October 15th, 1928, 4 days after leaving Germany, the Graf Zeppelin landed in Lakehurst, New Jersey, completing its first transatlantic ship. Matt's here too. What's up, Matt? Lakehurst, New Jersey. Does that name ring a bell for anyone? Think about that name for a second. Lakehurst, New Jersey. That name is significant in airship history for one very specific reason. I mean, aside from the fact that lots of airships came and went from Lakehurst, you could argue the most famous airship of all went down in Lakehurst, and that, of course, would be the Hindenburg. Now, let's see. Yep, there you go, Ozzy, the Hindenburg. This couple should look familiar to most of us. October 15th, 1951. The very first episode of I Love Lucy aired on CBS. The comedy series, which starred Lucille Ball and her real-life husband, Desi Arnaz, became a television classic. Yep, Lucy. Not Lusitania, Lucy. Lucille Ball. On October 16th, 1964, China successfully detonated its first atomic bomb. She launched the Star Trek original series. She was also Desilu Studios. Ozzy was also the studio that produced the Andy Griffith Show. And let's see, October 16th, 1793. After the French Revolution began, Marie Antoinette, queen consort of Louis XVI, was targeted by agitators who, enraged by her extravagance and attempts to save the monarchy, ultimately guillotined her on this day in 1793. And our last one for this week in history, October 16th, 1946. 10 of the 12 defendants sentenced to death at the Nuremberg trials were executed. And that is a real photo from the Nuremberg trials. So, with that, that is all of our history for this week. We are going to now transition into our topic for this week. If you guys bear with me a second so I can bring that up. So while I'm doing that, how has everyone's October been so far? You guys watching scary movies or What are you guys doing? I've already started watching a few myself. Just waiting for the game to load here. Let's see. According to Google, this date in history. Let's see. All right. Matt, I'll read that in a second. Just bear with me. I'm loading up the game here, so just bear with me a second, guys. All right. Let's see. Let's do this. There we go. And now bring it back up this way. Almost ready, guys. And let's see. Graphics. I got to put everything on low, otherwise it's going to be a nightmare. Okay, so this should be ready to go. There we go. Let's see. And it's been horrible. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope things get better for you soon. Mine have been great, other than the fact, like I said, I've just been dealing with this cough for the past few weeks that I can't seem to get rid of. According to Google, this date in history in 1907, the first commercial transatlantic wireless service between Glace Bay, Nova Scotia, Canada, and Clifton, Ireland happened. Cool. Cowboys are in last place. Mark watched Friday 13th, 6 and 7 today, watching Freddy versus Jason. And it's why I've been pretty invisible everywhere. Well, I hope things get better soon for you, Anna. Hopefully I can make you smile a little bit tonight, because we are going to take a look once again at one of our favorite ocean liners ever. Let's see. Where do you guys want to start? We can start first class, the promenades, the baths, second, third class, officers' quarters, crew area, post office, boiler rooms. Where do you guys want to start at? I'll wait and see for some replies. You haven't slept a full night since probably July. Wow, that's a bummer, Mark. I'm sorry to hear that. It's like some of you guys are having a rough go. While I wait for some responses here, a couple of programming notes. Well, now let's just see. Second class. Mark wants to start in second class, so we will start in second class. And let's board Titanic. So a couple of programming notes. Ozzy the Potato Room, of course. So again, what was I going to say? A couple of programming notes. While we're looking around the ship, it should be mentioned that next month, well, firstly, I have been working behind the scenes for weeks now to bring in some more experts, some new experts to the stream. And next month in November, we are going to have a couple of new guests. They will be on the same stream. I can't elaborate too much on that right now, but I can at least tell you that much. There will be some new guests joining us next month on the stream for a roundtable discussion on a very special event. And I've gotten any sleep in months. Hermes was sick. Yeesh. Yikes. Good luck with that, Anna. Wishing you and yours the best. Another thing to make mention of is next week And this is something I do not have a whole lot of information on. You guys should be paying attention to the kids' social media, USS Kid, of course, our beloved DD661. I do not know exactly what's going to be happening, but it would behoove you to keep an eye on kids' social media next week. I believe there's going to be something going to be popping up real soon. So yeah, we started off in here. Let's go aft. Let's see. Let's go down the steps. Of course, these are the second class steps. And here we are in second class dining. If you could unsink a ship that was scrapped, which ship would you pick? Now, I already know Mark's answer to that question because we have the same one. But if you could unscrap a ship from history, which one would it be? It could be an ocean liner, could be a military vessel. Which one would you unscrap? Yep, and there it is. I knew, Mark, we share the same number one and number two. First Olympic and then Mauritania. Second class dining actually looks really nice. I think second class dining is a bit underrated. Let's see if we can go forward here. No, we cannot go through this door. That's probably the kitchen area, I would think. So let's see. Yes, the aft lifts right here, which you can see the aft lifts only went up to B deck. I know it says boat deck up there, but the lifts did not go up to boat deck. Only the forward first class lifts on Britannic went all the way up to boat deck. On Titanic and Olympic, no lifts went up to the boat deck. First class dining is too white. Are you maybe referring to D deck reception, Mark? Are you referring to the actual dining area? Because it's just the walls that in the ceiling that are white. But I mean, if you feel like that's too white, then that's fine. Let's see. Painted white. Yeah. No one else has an answer for which ship would you unscrap? Now, you can't say SS United States because she's not being scrapped, as we know. She's being reefed. Big difference. Scotland Road. But that's the third class accommodations. We're not going to third class right now. Natural wood is nicer, except for when they paint it green in the 1920s on Olympic. I don't know. To this day, I still don't understand why they did that. All right, let's go up some more. And ooh, Ozzy Saratoga. Is that open? Yeah, so here's the aft lifts right here. You can actually go into the lift, which I don't think you can do anywhere on the forward lifts in this demo. But here's C deck. And this would be second class smoking. You can see we zoom in. I believe that's an ashtray. No, this might be, I might be getting myself confused. This one, I think we started off. The first room we looked at was the smoking. I always tend to get second class a little mixed up because I don't. Mark's saying it's the library. Yeah, the first room we were in was smoking. I always tend to get second class a little mixed up because I don't come into second class as much as I do first class. And let's see. Let's go up. And of course, this is for the aft mast, which is right there. Kind of got myself turned around a little bit. All right. I know we can move forward from this area. See, they got a piano right here. I have not been watching any of the usual channels on YouTube that I watch for ship content. I've just been kind of out of the loop lately. Been forever since I played this in June. Yeah, that's why I don't do it too often. Every now and then we come and we walk the ship. Is the second class? Yeah, we just looked at them, Anna. I'll go back and show you the look right here. And see, like I was saying earlier, it doesn't go the second these lifts don't go all the way up to even A deck. They stop at B deck. And see, we're on C deck right now. So watch, let's go upstairs. No, Mark. I haven't been watching much of anything. Like I said, I've just been kind of out of the loop lately on all of that stuff. I mean, other than Kid and Buffalo Naval Park, and occasionally New Jersey, I've not been watching really much any ship content lately. Yeah, so here we are on A deck, and you can see the aft lifts. They don't come up this high. So you got to go all the way down to B deck before you can have access to the lifts. Well, no, let me correct myself. I've been saying that wrong. They do come up to boat deck. I've been saying that wrong. So it skips A deck. That's what it is. Because this is the second class entrance right here aft. As you can clearly see how it's marked. So you can't get off at A deck. You skip A deck and you automatically go down to B deck. Yeah, Buffalo Kid and History X. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, and Ken's got a great channel, and he's an awesome guy too. I need to come up with some ideas to do another collaboration with Ken. We did that one, if you guys remember, back in March, where it was a collaboration. It was myself, it was Ken from History X, Tim from USS Kid, and Shane from the Buffalo Naval Park. Because Shane and Ken came down to Louisiana to tour the Kid while she was in dry dock. We did a big meetup. I was able to meet them in person, have lunch with them, and we did a roundtable discussion, and that is still available on the channel, by the way. Low budget username. Accidentally found your account. My great grandmother survived Titanic. She died in 1930. Wow. What was your great grandmother's name? Budget? Yeah, History X has been about the B-29. Yeah, that's correct. And I think I watched first one. He's done like several videos on that B-29. I have not gotten to all of them just yet. But yeah, Budget, what was your great grandmother's name? I wonder if I've heard of her, and if not, I may have to see if I can do some research and read about her. See, like, where was she on the ship? Maybe if we can figure out what lifeboat she was on, things like that. And I've been behind on a lot. I've been binging scary mysteries on YouTube. Well, it's October. You have to do this kind of stuff in October. She was in third class. Okay. What was her name? I would definitely be interested in reading up on her. All right, so let's go ahead. Mara Osman Bansky. So I'm going to take a picture of that name with my phone so I don't forget it. I wonder if she is mentioned in On a Sea of Glass. How many of you have read On a Sea of Glass? All right, let's start making our way. See, they're pretty limited on what they show us here in second class. They hit the main spots, but I don't think you get access to any cabins, at least not that I can remember. Yeah, so we're going back through the smoking room. Mark, you want that book? Yes, you absolutely want that book. That book is amazing. I am mostly finished. I put it down a while back and I just haven't picked it back up, which I need to do. Pulling back the curtain a little bit, I'm working on getting another guest for a Titanic discussion. And I definitely need to reference On a Sea of Glass. Ticket number 349-244. Just taking a picture of that too. 349-244. Need to get ship books. I'll show you guys the books I've got real quick. Let's see. They're on my shelf here behind me. So I'll go big screen for a second so you guys can see these. These are a few recommendations that I have. I do have a book about Olympic, but it's a digital book, so it's so I can't show that to you guys. But let's go full screen for a minute here. So here's a few that I would recommend to you guys. Of course, right here, On a Sea of Glass: The Life and Loss of the RMS Titanic. As you can see, I don't think this is in the right spot. No. I don't know why I have two bookmarks in here. This is the one back here. I've got about this much left of the book. So, of course, that would be my number one recommendation for everyone here. We could invent time travel, go back and talk to Captain Smith. Oh, there's so many people I would go back and talk to. This is another one. This is an excellent book, Dead Wake by Eric Lawson. It is the last crossing of the Lusitania. I have read this book all the way through. I highly recommend it. It's essentially On a Sea of Glass for the Lusitania. So if you want a really good book on Lusitania, I would recommend this one. And the last one that I have a physical copy of is this right here. And I've shown this on the channel before. Destroyer Captain: The Life of Ernest E. Evans. Ernest Evans was the captain of the Johnston, sister ship to the Kidd, to the Sullivans, Cass and Young. I got this This was autographed by the author. There was a book signing at the USS Kidd Veterans Museum on a Sunday last year, and I went, bought the book, got it signed, got to meet the author, and that was the first time I got to meet Park Stevenson. Anyway, let's get back to exploring Titanic. So that's just a few of the ones I have. There's a list of other books I want. You want to read is Shadow of the Bridge. It's a murder mystery, not ship related. I used to read a whole lot when I was younger. Like when I was in my 20s, I read a whole lot, way more than I used to, or than I do right now. And I used to read a lot of horror themed novels. That was my thing, and I would probably still do that. Actually, I bought two audiobooks this past week. One is an audiobook of The Mask of the Red Death, which of course is an Edgar Allan Poe short story, and another short story, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. So I watched the Disney cartoon earlier this week. Mark Reed, all of Stephen King. One of my all-time favorite books is a Stephen King novel called The Long Walk, which they actually just made a movie about a month or two ago. I don't really recommend it. I watched it, of course. I wasn't all that impressed with the movie, so of course stick to the book. But if you guys want some other book recommendations as far as like ships and whatnot, I can go through my list of audiobooks real quick. Let's see. Escape from the Deep, which is a book about the USS Tang, which I highly recommend. The Poseidon Adventure. A Night to Remember. And I actually have it's called the Loss of the Titanic, which was Archibald Gracie's book. See you later here in Croatia. It is 2:30. Well, oh wow, no kidding. Well, thank you for stopping by, Budget, and the replay will be available, so you're always free to check out whatever you missed out on. But thanks for coming by and hanging out with us. Can't find any of my Titanic books. I only had a few. Well, On a Sea of Glass is the only book I've ever had about Titanic. Well, let me rephrase that. It's the only physical copy of a Titanic book I've ever had. Night to Remember, I've got the audiobook. And this is where we first met. I actually have a friend of mine who does model ships. Well, he doesn't do model ships. He builds scale models, and he's been doing it since he was a child. And his big project next year is to build a 1 to 3/50 scale of Titanic that he's had in his collection for years and never built. And I have been kind of helping him with that. He hasn't started it yet. He's getting everything he needs to build it. And when he's done, it's going to be a museum quality type build. It's going to be better than all of my models for sure. But he knows I'm a Titanic goon, and he's been asking me questions about the ship. So of course I have been advising him best I can. The Raven. I've never actually read The Raven. I saw the old black and white movie of The Raven. All right, we got about 25 minutes left. Let's go ahead and hit some of the most, some of the more famous spots in first class. So aft well deck. Actually, we can go here on C deck. I don't know. I can't remember if we can get to see some of the machinery or not. Let's see. No, we can't go in there. Fall of the House of Usher is good too. Yeah, and Murders in the Rue Morgue. Since we're talking Poe, I would recommend Murders in the Rue Morgue. So this is all third class right here. Can we go blow the whistle? No, you cannot blow the whistle. But on a side note, did you guys see that the whistles for the SS United States are being both preserved and restored? That was mentioned earlier this week by Colleen Marine. Scotland Road to get to the engine room. Yep. Let's go down because I think this is the point where we get where you're really not going to see anything else down here. No. Yeah, you can go down here, but I think everything is just, this is very bland and there's not really anything to see at all right here. Now, point of interest about one of the things to note about third class on Titanic. Well, let's see what this room is first. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's potatoes or not. Quote the Raven, nevermore. So fun fact about Titanic, a lot of the third class men were all in the areas forward of the ship, like in the well deck and all of that. And all the women were aft. Well, I don't know, mail room. I don't know, Ozzy. I don't think Titanic had multiple mail rooms, at least not that I'm aware of. I could be wrong, but I don't know if she had multiple mail rooms. It doesn't look like a mail room. There's a laboratory right there. Yeah, there's something, I don't know those sacks are what those sacks are there for, but yeah, there was no other mail room that I'm aware of. What does the red text read? That just shows you the parts of the ship that are not yet in the game. See, let's zoom in. Nimble 401 2.0, I believe that's how it works. There was a map where all the green air, where it was green, all the decks that it listed the individual decks like this, and the stuff that was completed was in green and the other stuff was in red. All right, let's red is open spots. All right, let's get up to let's start hitting some of the high spot areas. Of course, one of my absolute favorite things to do on Titanic is to promenade on the promenade deck. So we have to do that. Yeah, the only mail room is on G deck, right? Okay, let's see. Let's go up all the way up to the boat deck. I wish the lifts actually worked in this demo. Can you sit in the chairs? No, you can't. You can't sit. You can't jump. You can walk a little faster than regular pace, but that's the only thing you can do. And of course, our funnels. The one thing I've not been seeing a whole lot of, and blessedly, by the way, is, and I don't know because I haven't been looking at as much ship content on social media. I'm not seeing as much of the conspiracy theory nonsense, like any of it, any conspiracy theory. Thank God. And here's an expansion joint right here. And we're walking. This is the engineer's promenade right here. This little bitty section. This is engineer. Again, back that way is second class. And let's go into first class. You've only been seeing political conspiracies lately. I've not, like I said, I've not been doing a whole lot of social media lately, like hardly any. Ozzy, the potato room is on E deck. Let's see if we're going to see the potato room on this stream. First, we got to go promenading. So let's go down to A deck. Oh, and there's that expansion joint again. Raise the Titanic page is ridiculous. I didn't know there was a Raise the Titanic page. You post pics of lizards on Discord, and that's about it. Yeah, I'm sure you guys noticed I've not been very active on Discord either. I don't know. I'm just kind of burnt on social media right now. I just kind of need to detox a little bit from it, if that makes sense. I mean, I'll never go away from it completely, but right now I just feel the need to, like I said, to get a little detox. So let's go promenading here on A deck. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of social media to begin with. Like the place you'll see me the most active is actually here, right here on my channel. That's where you'll see me the most active. And here we are, forward well deck. I don't know. Honestly, I prefer communicating and interacting with people in this format than I do in other social media platforms. Okay, so I've got it out of my system. I've promenaded. Let's go here. Let's go into onto A deck. I don't know if you guys can hear my PC fan, but it's kicking into overdrive. I desperately need a new computer so I can do more stuff like this. Maybe even actually play World of Warships on a stream for once. But new PC is just not in the cards right now. Here we go. Of course, we got to come up here and make it count. So, honor and glory, crowning time. And we're making it count. So, let's see. Let's descend down the grand staircase. And of course, we have to come here, even though we can't go in these rooms. B52, B54, and did I pass it up? No, I did not. 54 and 56. Who occupied rooms B52, 54, and 56 on Titanic? Do you have some new pics of lizards from today? Yeah, I've been working. As you guys saw, I did post a couple of pictures from a photo shoot from last weekend, a Halloween cosplay shoot. I did put a couple of those photos on Discord. I'm not done editing that all the photos from that session just yet. But who remembers who was in cabins B-52, 54, and 56 on Titanic? Who occupied those rooms? And Molly Brown, question mark, or Rose from the movie? Yeah. Well, in the movie, yes, Rose and her gang were in B-52, 54, and 56. Who occupied those rooms on the ship in real life? And here we are, D-deck reception. All right, let's go down to Scotland Road. And Mark is correct. J. Bruce Ismay occupied suites B-52, 54, and 56 in real life on Titanic. All right. Here we are on Scotland Road. Saloon Waiters 3. Anna mentioned Molly Brown. Molly Brown's cabin was actually on E deck, the deck we're on, but we're in third class right now. And that's third class dining right here. Which movie came out in 1978? Halloween or Friday the 13th original with Kevin Bacon? Halloween came out in 78. All right. So yeah, here's this is third class dining. Let's go back up. First class stewards. And what is this? First class cooks. And we all know whose room was down here as well. We're slowly making our way there. Chef Baker and assistant chef and chef. Charles Joffman, the lead baker on Titanic. I was surprised when I learned that Molly Brown was that low in first class on E deck. What's this room? Musicians. Yep, she's on the starboard side on E deck. I'm trying to find the potato room for Ozzy. I got to admit, I forgot where it is. I'll let Ozzy see the potato room. Whose Michael face they used? The Michael Myers mask was originally a William Shatner Star Trek mask. And of course, the engine rooms. Yep, Anna, it was a William Shatner mask. Let's go have a quick look at the engines. You get cookie. How about tacos? I'm not a big cookie fan. How about tacos? Can I have tacos? I'll get you some potatoes. And there we go. Titanic's massive engines. All right, let's head back up. You're eating burnt popcorn. Well, I'm going to pop popcorn because I'm going to probably watch a movie after we're done here. But it won't be burnt. That's not a blooper, Matt. As Dr. Loomis says, somebody must have gave him lessons. They do address that. It's a very quick throwaway line, but they do address that in the movie. Oh, what we have right there. Look at that. We found some potatoes, Ozzy. There you go. And Donnybrook, maybe one of your nurses taught him. Yeah, like I said, it is addressed in the movie. It's a throwaway line, but you know. All right, so there's the potatoes. Yeah, yep. Too bad the nameplate above it doesn't say potato room. Well, this is technically not a room, but there you go. There's the potatoes. Potatoes on Titanic. There you go. All right, let's go back forward, and we're going to go to Molly Brown's room on starboard side. Remember, she's on E deck starboard. And let's see, we're almost there. I don't want to pass up the door. He was watching the Dukes of Hazzard. There we go. First class main stairway. And we're going to go to Molly Brown's room. It's repositioned with maybe not a guarantee. She picked up some tricks from the Duke boys. All right, here we go. We got to go this way to Molly Brown's room. Sorry, excuse me. And E23, this is Molly Brown's room right here. Who remembers what lifeboat Molly Brown was on? You want to go see Father Brown's camera? All right, so there it is, Molly Brown's cabin. Let's see, we've got to go up to A deck to get to Father Brown's room, which is also on starboard. And here's the purser's office, which was, we're on C deck. Make our way up to B deck. And we'll go aft from here. We can take the aft grand staircase up to A deck from there. So we have to go look at our thumbnail for the stream this week. Ozzy, you got it. Molly Brown was in lifeboat number 6. Would have been incredible to see all the woodwork in this vessel. Yeah, no kidding, because remember, they didn't have machines making this stuff back in Titanic's day. This was all hand carved. So yeah, here's our this is our thumbnail for this week. But yeah, Ozzy got it. Molly was in lifeboat number 6. Who was in charge of lifeboat number 6? Does anybody remember that? And here's the a la carte. According to On a Sea of Glass, Ismay actually spent more time here in the a la carte than what he did in the D deck first class dining. The guy that told her to shut up. Mark got it. Quartermaster Robert Hitchens was in charge of lifeboat number 6. What was Quartermaster Hitchens doing at the time of the collision? Does anybody remember? What was Quartermaster Hitchens doing at the time of the collision? All right, let's go up to A deck and we'll go into Father Brown's room. Yep, and here we are at the aft grand staircase. Lightoller ended up in one of the raised collapsibles. Well, Lightoller survived on overturned collapsible B. No, he wasn't taking a nap, Ozzy. What was Quartermaster Hitchens doing? And here we are in Father Brown's room. So, Quartermaster Robert Hitchens was the person who was physically steering the Titanic when the collision happened. He was actually holding the wheel. He received, of course, his orders from Murdoch and turned the ship accordingly. No, he was not in the crow's nest. But since you bring up the crow's nest, who were the two lookouts in the crow's nest? And yep, here, Matt, I'll zoom in to Father Brown's camera for you. There you go. Yes, yes, he was at the helm. And this is an actual real life photo from Father Brown, where he stands right here in the corner and he takes this shot of his room. Let's see. Yep, Mark and Anna, you of course both correct. Frederick Fleet and Reginald Lee. True or false? Titanic had 6 lookouts. Did any of the lookouts not survive the sinking? Did any of the lookouts die in the sinking? And of course, once you walk into this room and you see this stuff on the bed, you should automatically know whose room this is. Looking at these blueprints, you should know who this room belongs to. Anna, all but, yeah. That is Thomas Andrews' room, yes. Yes, Ozzy, you're correct. All 6 lookouts survived the sinking. All 6 of them. And let's see. Here's first class smoking. We'll hit a couple of more of the high points because we're about to wrap it up here. The only functioning fireplace on Titanic. Every other fireplace on the ship is not a real functioning fireplace. This is the only fully functional fireplace on Titanic. So dang, I thought only Fleet survived. Nope, all 6 lookouts survived. All right, let's see. Let's go down to B deck and we're going to make our way forward. Well, yeah, they didn't think about, wood and fire safety. Well, I mean, I'm sure they did think about like safety standards about, fire and wood back then. Not, of course, to the degree that we do now. Certainly not to the point that William Francis Gibbs did. So here we are on A deck. Another nice first class cabin. All right, let's go up to the bridge, and that's where we're going to sign off. Let's see. All right, let's go. Yep, let's go make our way to the bridge. Well, let's check out the gym real quick since we're right here. Yep, you can headbutt the punching bag. That's about the only thing you can interact with that's on the ship in this demo. And here we go. All right. So, no, I don't think so, Ozzy. All right. So now we're going to go on the officer's promenade. Let's go check out the wireless shack, one of my favorite spots on the ship. Yes, Skip, we did go and find some potatoes. Ozzy finally got to see some potatoes. Yep, wireless shack, one of my favorite rooms on the ship. Of course, this is where Phillips and Bride slept. And the wireless room. It looks like buckets of white paint right there. I would imagine that might not have actually been on the ship when it was underway. Wish they'd somehow be able to recover the wireless. Well, they tried or they wanted to a few years ago, but I forget who it was that was opposed to it, threatened lawsuits and all that stuff. So they ended up not recovering, which I think they should too. But anyway, so going back to Quartermaster Hitchens, he would have been right here in this spot at the helm when the collision happened. And Murdoch was right here watching and directing, giving his orders for which way to steer the ship. I think some New York courts stepped in for some reason and said nothing can be taken from the wreck. I forget all the politics behind it. But yeah, essentially, like I said, there were lawsuits threatened, and that's why it ended up not happening, which I really think they should recover it before that part of the ship just collapses completely and that stuff's lost forever. That's just my opinion. All right. So that's a nice image right there. Well, the roof was caving in on the wireless shack, so I would imagine the more it deteriorates, I mean, eventually the decks are all going to collapse on top of each other. I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon, but at some point it's going to happen. So at some point in the future, I hope that they decide to get this stuff off the shelf before it's too late. Mark, they need to salvage lots of things. Absolutely. Can we climb the funnel? No, we cannot climb on the funnels, unfortunately. There's not even a way to get up on the roof. So, all right, guys. Well, that is going to wrap us up for this week. Let's see. Let's go full screen here. See, there are so many stories down there. I think it doesn't change the rec. It should be. I have always been in favor of recover as much stuff as possible. That's just my opinion. But that's going to wrap us up for this week, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, stay tuned. I'll be doing something next week as well, and next month gonna have a pretty big live stream. I can't wait to tell you guys more about that. But like I said, Kid also has a video that came out at the same time we were starting tonight. So hop on over to Kid's channel and check out their video. And I have it on. I have good reason to believe that we should pay close attention to Kid's social media next week. Whether you follow her on Facebook or YouTube, or you do both, whatever you do, pay attention to Kid's social media next week. I have a feeling something's coming. So Good night, everybody. Thanks again for watching. And until the meantime, of course, you guys know the drill. As always, drive safely.